Hey y'all, good morning, good morning. Listen, I just wanted to do a quick midweek check-in. I got fit this morning, focused, intentional, and tenacious about God's plan for my life. Got some good study time in, and I just want to encourage you. So listen, I was thinking about our gifts, right? We all have spiritual gifts. When you give the Lord your life, you will find out that He's giving you gifts. There's gifts within you that as we give back to Him, He uses them. And that's what He wants to do. That's what purposefully living is all about. Just allowing God to use everything that He's put in you. And I've really been thinking about this lately, especially as I'm preparing for the release of the boot camp. And y'all, God just gave me something, and I just want to share it with you. A familiar passage, okay? Moses. It's in Exodus 4. And in this story, God is calling Moses to deliver his people. He's heard their cry, and he tells Moses, you're going to go. And I want to read it in the Message version. In the Message version of Exodus 4:1, it says, Moses objected. They won't trust me. They won't listen to a word I say. They're going to say, God appeared to him hardly. So God said, what's in your hand? I wanted to just start there because, like me and maybe you, sometimes the things that we are called to do, we start out when the Lord shows us, we're kind of like, yeah, who gonna do that? Who gonna start that company? You want me to do what? It overwhelms us, right? But God said something specifically. He said, what's in your hand? Now, here's the next thing. Moses responds, a staff. God tells him, throw it on the ground. He threw it. It became a snake. Moses jumped back. In another translation, I want to read it to you in the Amplified translation. It said, and the Lord said, what's in your hand? He said, a staff. Then he said, throw it on the ground. So Moses threw it on the ground, and it became a living serpent. And Moses ran from it. So much sun out here. Okay. There we go. And Moses ran from it. In other words, what was in his hand scared him. Hear me. There are some things, I'm trying to find a spot. It's so sunny out here, but it's still cold, but it's sunny. Okay. What was in his hand scared him. He ran from it, right? Where am I going? First of all, God has called you to do a specific thing. And I just want to encourage you on this midweek check-in. Whatever God has called you to do, knees knocking, fear is a natural reaction. I don't want us to run from that, but we are not to live in a place and in a posture and a habitation of fear. But just like Moses, God has placed some things in you. And I want to ask you this morning, what's in your hand? In other words, what's in you? Whatever gift, whatever capacity God has called, maybe it's the gift of encouragement. Maybe you have the gift of finances. You can run the numbers and you can help others see the importance of their finances. Maybe you have the gift of consulting. Maybe you're a pianist. Whatever God has put in you, what's in your hand is what he's asking. Because a lot of times, y'all, we want all the stuff, right? Myself included. We major in the details. You're going to start a boot camp. Who's coming? What are they? What's the price? What, we just go through all this stuff. We're trying to figure out the high and are they going to receive me? And what does this mean? And what if I go? And what if this don't happen? What if nobody said? We have all the what ifs. God said, what's in your hand? In other words, what Moses had was already for the journey. He already had what he needed. You already have what you need. God has already equipped you from your mother's womb for what you need for purpose. It's already in you. Now, Right after God brought that out, what's in your hand, he gave him instructions. He said, throw it down. So Moses had to activate what was in his hand. He had to do something. You have to do something. He's put the gift of encouragement in you. He's put the gift of whatever. You feel that in. You have to activate that. You have to do something. You have to step out and send that text, encourage that person, speak to somebody, write out the plan. You have to do something. We don't get to put all the responsibility on God. Lord, just shake it, brace it. No. You got to walk something out. You have a part. You're a participant in purpose. You have to move. But here's the thing that I want you to get. When Moses did what God said, it scared him. He ran from it. Y'all, some things, the things that God has called us to do, they will be scary. And you know what I believe that is? That's a reminder of what it's like to do it outside of God. Because when God is in it and he's with you, there's a rest you can have. Does that mean your stomach turns? Y'all, every time I get on here, when I get on to speak, I love speaking. I'm passionate about encouragement. I love Get Fit, but my stomach turns. But you know what? I know that God has given me something to say, so I don't let that pull me back. With the stomach turning, I believe that I can change, encourage, bring a smile to one person. And so I do it for the one. And so it's not that there's going to be this great, oh, I can just do this. No. Before I logged on here, you know what I did is I was walking down here. I said, Holy Spirit, the one person you want me to talk to, season my tongue, give me what to say. I gave it to him because I know if he's speaking through me and if he's put the words in my mouth, I can open it up and say it. Now, did that change the knot in my stomach? No, that happens all the time. What am I saying? The things that God has called us to do, they will make your stomach turn, make you breathe deep, go, whoo, Lord, okay, I'm about to make this presentation for $2.5 million. That ought to bring some, but you can rest. That is not in you. He's already equipped you for that presentation. He's already equipped you for that business meeting. He's already equipped you to teach those kids. He's already equipped you to be that mom, to be the wife. He's already equipped you with everything you need. So he's asking you today, what's in your hand? What has he placed in you that you have not ignited, that you have not allowed him to unlock and really do what he wants to do? Here's the next thing, and this is the last thing. Right after Moses got scared, it says he threw it down. Let me go back to my thing. It says, so Moses threw it on the ground and it became a living serpent. Moses ran from it. Right after that, but the Lord said to Moses, reach out your hand and grasp it by the tail. So he reached out his hand and caught it, and it became a staff in his hand. And then as the scripture goes on, God gives him more instructions. Why is that so important? Y'all, all I want you to understand that is so beautifully brought out through that passage, there are things that we are called to do that they will be fearful. You will doubt. That's a natural reaction. That's flesh, right? But you don't have to fear and live in fear when you allow God to speak to you. God speaks. I don't get on here to look cute. I think I'm cute though, but I don't get on here to look cute. I really want someone, anytime I speak, to know that God is real. He speaks. He will get you fit for your life. And that is not in this body, but it's in your soul, in your mind, in your finances, in your marriage, in your children, your life. He will show you the path if you give him access. Why is that part so important? Because when God showed him, I gave you something to do. You scared to do it. You doubting. You don't even know. I already equipped you with what you need right there in the wilderness. It's in your hand. Throw it out. You throw it out. Whoa, what's going on? He's scared. But then right after that, God begins to guide him. He tells him what to do. He tells him when you do this, it's going to do this. When you do this, it's assembled to this. What am I saying? God is right there. He never gives you something and leaves you. But you have to stay with him. The hardest task that we will do is not fulfilling our purpose, but it is staying connected to the purpose giver. We have to be willing to slow down, to be still, to hear the instructions. He knows how that staff was to work. He knows how that business is to work. He knows how to parent those kids. He knows how to keep that marriage going. He knows the ministry you're to build. He knows how to run that corporation. But are you willing to listen? Are you willing to be still enough? In other words, get fit, so that you can hear the guided instructions that he will give to get your, whatever he's called you to do, to purposely live and walk into success that he already created for you to have. Y'all, I just want to encourage you in this midweek encouragement. Be what God has called you to be. Y'all already know. Let me just say it. You were created for such a time as this. You were created for such a time as this. Be what God has called you to be. Do it with the shaking knees and all. Because the reality is, y'all, he has already equipped you with you need. Just like Moses was looking at the vision, the task. You're going to deliver my people. Moses like, say, what? Like, okay, the people that I done ran from, I done killed one. I mean, Moses is dissecting all the details. I got to go. I'm going to tell them. They're going to say, who sent you? What? God sent you. God ain't sent. Like Moses gone. Like most of us in the detail. The Lord didn't ask him to do all of that. Because as you read the story, Moses' whole process of delivering God's people was a journey. And then it ended up being one of the biggest miracles in the Bible. How they walked across on dry land and saw their enemy washed up. I mean, it's like one of the biggest miracles in the Bible. But God ain't show him all of that, because he had to take a step and another step and another step. And so I'm talking to myself right with you. God doesn't see time. He ain't worried about them details. He's just saying, what's in your hand? What's in your hand? If a smile is what's in your hand, if you have the gift of writing and that's what's in your hand, if whatever, you always have a word. You can do hair. God then wants you to go into that salon, and you're not just doing hair. You are beautifying people. And while you are working on one of the most sensitive areas of them, you get to speak over them. You're literally standing over them. So ask God, how do I use this moment? How can I ask them about their day? How can I speak life over them? How can I not just crown their head with glory, but when they leave there, what can I implement and put into them to remind them that they're not just beauty from this outer, but there's so much more God wants to do inside. You're not just a hairdresser. You're not just a mom. You're raising kingdom leaders. Do you know how big of a task that is? You're not just a wife. You are on assignment. You are spiritual help to that man. You get to go before God and say, God, how do I walk by him? How do I sharpen him in the word? How do I speak words of life in him? How do we together get to demonstrate the love of Christ for the church? You know how big that is? So I just want to encourage you, what's in your hand? You got to activate it. In other words, move. And then you're going to hear God will give the guided instructions. Don't bite off the whole thing. And we do that sometimes. All Moses heard was deliver the people. But all he needed was already there. And listen, he ran from it. He ran. That thing became a servant. He ran. Sometimes the things that God have you write down, speak to you, you gonna run. But the Lord said, come on back. Come on back. I got the instructions, girl. Why you running? I already got these people signed up over here that's going to give you the money for the nonprofit. I already got the person that's going to help you write out the business plan. I already got Latrice over here to encourage you and be your accountability partner and get you fit. What you running for? What y'all running for? Listen, I be running too, but I don't run no more. I'm like, I done got it. I do it shaking. So that's all my midweek encouragement is. I just want to encourage you. What's in your hand? Give it to him. And why? Y'all, do you know there's only one you? That thing hit me this morning. I ain't gonna even lie, I started crying. There's one Latrice. There's people all over this world that got my name. But there is only one Latrice Marie Mactaw Bartley that Faye and Larry birthed. There is only one Latrice that like to talk the way I like to talk. There's only one Latrice that got the personality that I got the personality. I don't know if there's another Latrice that like to get fit, but y'all, there's only one me. And so the moment that you decide to tell God no, the moment that you decide to not move in what God has called you to do, somebody loses the benefit of what he predestined you to do. Look at your value. Your gift is, it's like potent. It's valuable. Somebody needs what's in you. So that's all I wanted to say. Y'all know I like to talk. I could keep going, but I think I said enough. What's in your hand? Activate it, move, and then listen. God never is going to call you to do these things alone. He's going to walk right with you, but you have to give him access. See, we get the instructions and then we go into our measures. Oh, I'm going to collaborate with such and such because, honey, let me say something. I heard she had all kind of capital. I'm going to put such and such because I know they worked with such and such. We never come back and say, God, how do you want me to do this? How do you want me to get healthy in my body? Lord, what should I eat? Should I be vegan? Should I be keto? Lord, how did you process my digestive system? Do we even ask God? You might want to try that. He speaks. Do we even ask him how to raise our children? Do we ask him how to love that man after 20 years? Because he's went through multiple changes and his body is changing and he's not the same person we married in 1980. So God, how as a wife do I need to love him? God, as a husband, how do I need to love her? What does she need from me? Maybe buying the purses and the Louis ain't doing nothing. Maybe she just want her hand held, her neck rubbed. Maybe she just want to go for a walk and she don't care about the Louis Vuitton purse. Like, do we even ask God? Give him access. He knows how to use what he's put in you. He's just waiting for you to give it to him. And just like Moses, he's going to give you guided instructions. And little could you know, you might be on the brink of one of the biggest miracles of your life, just like Moses. So that's all I want to say. Love y'all.